Wolves hunt with more than just fang and claw. They hunt with endurance, with discipline, and with a coordination that turns the chase itself into a closing trap. Every stride is calculated. Every approach carries the weight of the entire pack. Welcome to the world of the wolf. Yellowstone. A wolf does not hunt alone. They are predators of the pack, bound by the howl, by scent, and by an unspoken language. The wolf's power is not in the first bite. It is in the coordination, in the discipline, in reading the prey's slightest mistake, and the endurance to press the chase to its absolute end. Here, victory does not belong to the strongest. It belongs to the pack. From a distance, bison can look like the very embodiment of slowness. But up close, that is a dangerous mistake. An adult bull can weigh nearly 2,000 pounds, and when it charges, that mass turns into a force capable of smashing through anything in its path. Its horns, built on a bony core and sheathed in thick keratin, make every blow land like a sledgehammer strike. In a herd, they are not just stronger in numbers, but more effective. More eyes to stay alert. More bodies to shield the calves. In bison, strength does not rest in the individual alone, but in the living formation of the herd. Spring brings a new rhythm of life to Yellowstone, as bison calves begin arriving in greatest numbers from late April through May. But where there are newborns, predators are never far behind. A newborn bison calf, weighing around 15 to 25 kilograms, is a rich source of energy, and one that wolves track with all the patience of a top predator. Mothers do not leave their calves for even a moment, and the herd is always ready to respond. The wolves test their luck. But for bison, protecting the young is not just instinct. It is the strength of a giant herbivore shaped by discipline, vigilance, and a remarkably dangerous ability to fight back. Across the grasslands of Yellowstone, a calf may be the target, but the herd is the true power. Hunger does not make wolves reckless. It makes them more dangerous. The lead wolf moves quietly at the front, a seasoned hunter with enough experience to recognize the moment when the bison herd is at its weakest. Then the opening appears. One calf falls half a beat behind. Instantly, the wolf explodes into motion. Speed surges forward, and survival itself is compressed into one sudden burst of pursuit. calf is too young to defend itself, and by the time the mother turns back, the hunt is already over. In Yellowstone, the distance between safety and loss can sometimes be no more than a single missed step. To survive, each wolf must consume several kilograms of meat a day, forcing the pack to keep hunting without rest. In short bursts, they can reach speeds of nearly 70 kilometers per hour, but their real advantage lies in endurance and in their ability to sustain long pursuits across open ground. During the hunt, the pack works in tight coordination through howls, body posture, and experience sharpened by repeated chases. Ahead of them stands a full-grown bison, hundreds of kilograms of muscle, power, and danger. But if they manage to bring one down, it could provide enough food to sustain the entire pack for days. And it is that reward that makes this hunt a gamble worth taking. In the northern lands, thousands of reindeer are on the move, following an ancient memory of their kind. A colossal migration and an irresistible call to the predators. The oldest wolf leads the way. It does not rely on chance. It relies on the memory of many seasons of the hunt, knowing precisely where the herd will pass and where an opening might appear. Then, the target is revealed. A young calf, small but not easily overcome. For this migrating species, speed is not just an advantage. It is the condition for survival. This time, the young one is faster. It shakes its pursuer and vanishes back into the heart of the herd. As the great herd moves on, this young one has begun to tire. If it cannot keep up, it will be left behind, where the cold and predators await. For a migrating species, to endure is not just instinct. It is the condition for survival. And now, the only way is to rise and move on. The wolf has stalked this herd for a long time. In the heart of the Scandinavian winter, where temperatures can plummet to 40 degrees below zero. The cold does not just cover the land. It wears down every creature trying to survive. To endure, the wolf must hunt again. But to hunt alone is a dangerous gamble. A full-grown reindeer weighs hundreds of pounds, so it does not choose the strongest. It waits for the weakest. Then, the moment arrives. In that instant, the hunter knows the prize is within its grasp. The elk emerges as a living fortress of the northern forest. A mature bull can carry over 660 pounds of weight, and on its head, a rack of true bone, regrown each year at an astonishing rate. When the mating season arrives, that rack becomes a symbol of rank, power, and peril. With just one well-timed charge, its body mass and sprawling antlers are enough to force any predator to retreat. Winter has buried the grass beneath 8 inches of snow. For the elk, foraging has never been more difficult. They must dig, they must push. The wolf pack takes notice. They shadow the elk, but the deep snow makes every step of the pursuit a heavy one. Even the predators cannot afford to waste energy this winter. Then, a call echoes out. Short, urgent, enough to halt the entire pack. They understand the signal. An easier meal awaits, and just like that, the hunt is abandoned. In the heart of a harsh winter, an easy meal is always worth more than a risky chase. The bitter cold, the elk herd weakens. Food is scarce. Stamina fades. This is when the wolves gain the advantage. They hunt not just with speed, but with the strategy of the pack. A closing circle, a steady pace, a single animal separated from the herd. And from that moment, the end comes swiftly. In the vast expanse of the sky, the eagle commands its domain with the calm of an apex predator. A wingspan of over 7 feet allows it to ride the thermal updrafts, conserving energy while maintaining an absolute advantage in altitude. But its most dangerous weapon lies in its gaze. The eagle's eyes are so sharp they can lock onto the slightest movement from immense distances, granting it the ultimate advantage in the hunt, to see without being seen. And then, in a heartbeat, the dive begins. Silent, decisive, a strike so precise it is nearly inescapable. In the open terrain of rocky crags and grasslands, to leave cover is to expose oneself to peril. The most likely targets are not the strong and mature, but the young, the inexperienced, or the weak. Reveal yourself a moment too soon, and the threat can descend from the sky itself. The Badlands, a land of wind, grass, and endurance. Stretching across the vast plains, this is home to many wild species, but few residents are as resilient as the prairie dog. They have long inhabited this land, living in colonies, standing guard for one another, and carving intricate underground cities beneath the soil. Prairie dogs live in bustling communities, where many families share a territory and collectively guard the safety of the entire colony. As pure herbivores, they lack the fangs or claws for a direct confrontation with a predator. What ensures their survival? is their bond, their alarm calls, and the complex network of tunnels deep underground. When the call rings out, it means an enemy is close. The more eyes on watch, the higher the alert. A cobra, a predator that relies on powerful muscle, a lightning-fast strike, and venom to immobilize its target. The calls intensify. The snake is targeting the youngest pups. The father moves out to assess the situation. To protect the young, the father launches repeated attacks, blocking the snake's path to his offspring. And sometimes, just a few determined strikes like these are enough to make a predator abandon its hunt. The prairie dogs forage relentlessly, while the 5-week-old pups only want to play, restless and full of energy. But on the grasslands, youth also means greater risk. Then, a cry rings out. Not a social call. It's an alarm. A wildcat is dangerously close, silent, patient, and extremely dangerous. It relies on stealth and a lightning-fast pounce to single out the most vulnerable targets. The call ripples throughout the colony. It's not just a warning for the clan, it's a signal to the predator. It has been seen, and when the element of surprise is lost, this hunt may already be over. In the wild, victory is never given. Every creature must face the trial of hunger, of the elements, and the relentless struggle for survival. There are the hunters, and there are the hunted. But beyond this, all are part of a delicate balance, held for millennia. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss our newest releases.